Okay. All right. So, for tonight's session, you all received from Howie the Crab an invitation to a moonlit ball in Anemone Seas. And as you all have prepared your ball attire and your gift to be presented, because it's always good to come to a ball with a gift, especially when you are coming from a different court. It's just kind of like a way to give good tidings, being invited to such a grand event. As you guys approach the kind of castle that's been kind of set out in the cliffed areas, it's this beautiful clam shape. You see the sparkling waters. There's tons of colorful coral that surround it. It just looks beautiful. And the sun kind of hits inside of the cave, causing all of the geodes all over the cave wall to reflect in this kind of dazzling light. It is very pretty and very oceanic. And as you kind of begin to walk in, Kai, where are you presently? Are you greeting guests? Are you waiting inside? Where are you?
So when you guys come in, Kai will most likely just be at the entrance. So you go through like the giant doors and you notice that the doors are actually made of coral, and she's stationed like right like a couple feet once you get inside the main area. But yeah, she would be there greeting everyone, just kind of showing everyone where to go.
Wonderful. So as you guys approach with your gifts, who would like to greet the guardian first and present your gift to the court?
I will.
Okay, please do that.
Greetings, Kai. It's been not that long since I was up in Naomi Seas. Seems to be a little strange, but thank you for hosting this ball, and I'm looking forward to enjoying it. And here is my gift. It is a map of the Naomi Seas with depth charts and a experimental overlay of the veil thinning that updates itself, and of course, illustrated with a lovely case.
And then Kai is going to take this map and just kind of, thank you so much for it. And then you actually see it's not, so you guys have seen Howie the crab already, but this one's more like, this one's a massive crab that kind of just like comes up to Kai's side. And we're going to call him, this is Ginger. So I'm going to give the map to Ginger, and she's actually going to be in charge of holding all the gifts that come through tonight.
Wonderful. You see Ginger kind of like stuff the map into like a part of its like shell so it can like hold on to it very securely. And it kind of gives you this nod as she understands her job and is taking it very seriously. You see the giant crab kind of stand up a little bit straighter, like I have been chosen tonight. And you see like a little bit of a pride. All right, who else would like to present their gift?
I'm actually going to like walk in behind Arizona, except Bob is a ghost.
Okay.
And so I'm seeing if I can like he trot in behind and not be seen.
Okay, yeah, I don't think Kai in particular has spirit sighting unless you
No.
do. So yeah, you kind of like begin to stride in and you don't see that Kai senses you at all, and you can assume that Kai doesn't have the spirit sight like some of the other guardians do. So you just kind of go in unimpeded.
Thank you.
Are you going to be causing some mischief tonight, Bog?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Okay, why don't you privately message me what you are doing? So at random times, I can implement what you are doing and it can just be secret drama that I announce randomly. And then you can, I guess, try to we can make rolls to see if you can do things like voice or stuff like that to see if you can have enough energy to do that. But just roll those privately when I ask. So, all right. Would anybody else like to present their gift to the guardian Kai?
I would, if I'm allowed. I would like to step up and present a large bouquet of assorted flowers that I've grown from the shores of Anemone Seas. And I bow deeply to Kai and say, hello, my lady. It's been many moons since I've had a chance to visit, but I always enjoyed meeting with you and your royals. I hope they're doing well. And I would like to present this bouquet to you as my gratitude for your welcoming us here tonight.
And then Kai is going to take the flowers and just say, thank you so much for bringing these. You're always welcome back to the seas. Um, and as for the royals, and she just kind of like looks off to the side and just says, we had an incident with the blowfish, and I think they may have had a little bit too much to drink, so they might show up, but I assume that for the most of the night they might be asleep. And then she's going to hand the flowers to Ginger the crab.
Well, then please give King Riz our my greetings and let him know he's always welcome to revisit the courts of Hyacinth.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. I think that it's canon that this blowfish incident needs to become an RP at some point.
Never say I don't. A novel escape.
All right. Would any other noble or royal like to present their gift to Kai?
Lady Shireen would like to present a gift.
Sure. Please go ahead.
She has some eggs from her best friend Queenie from her farm to present.
Oh.
They can never say I don't give it to the fan.
Okay. I think with these, Kai like kneels down and gives the eggs to Ginger, and she's just like, I need you to make sure these stay safe.
Yeah, you see the crab very carefully take like the little basket that they are in and kind of like tucks it underneath its legs so that it doesn't accidentally like crush it in its claws. And it seems to be contemplating how to get these eggs to safety later. But the crab is very smart and it will hopefully figure it out. Otherwise, we might have an egg incident. All right. Who else would like to present their gift to Kai?
I have a little something I'd like. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry. Kitty's you kind of see Kitty like messing with the very tight corset that's been put on her. Like she looks like she's subtly trying to breathe, but also trying to make herself be presentable as a royal of or a noble of Mallow Plains. And she goes up to Kai and bows gently. Her wings gently flutter out. And she goes, Guardian of Anemone Seas, I give you a vase painted from the highest artisans of Mallow Plains. And you can see on like the vase, it's very intricately painted, but it's only the ceramic part is only seems to be made out of clay, and it's very dark amber, and it's painted over with black paint, but it's very very intricately designed with different animals and designs from Mallow Plains.
Kai takes the vase and gives a bow in return and tells you that this is going in their personal study, just because of how beautiful it is, and then hands it off to Ginger.
Oh, wonderful. Princess Nightblade, where are you currently in all of this kind of opening event? Since you are the princess of Anemone Seas, where are you? Oh.
Guys, I've been looking at the map again. Amaris is going to be just kind of like near a shadowy pillar, just kind of like watching Kai, welcoming the guests into the ball. She hasn't been seen outside
Mhm.
Anemone Seas in a very long time, so she's kind of like not used to large groups of the people anymore. So she just kind of like hang back and observes for a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Wonderful. You're just kind of blended in with the shadows and you know how to disappear. You are very good at remaining invisible when you wish to be. So yeah, wonderful. Any other noble or royal would like to present a gift to Kai?
Chef Monk steps forward.
Wonderful.
A large wagon is being pulled behind Monk, covered entirely by a massive gold silk fabric. Please remove the tarp yourself, pulling from this side, if you please.
Okay, and with this, Kai will just kind of like grab it and just kind of look at Chef Monk and just raise an eyebrow and just slowly start pulling it off.
As the tarp begins to move, you slowly begin to notice that filling the entire wagon is a recreation of a large coral reef. Bright colors fill the senses along with the fragrance of sugary treats. I have shaped each barnacle, starfish, and even the entirety of the coral out of saltwater taffy. Please enjoy and share as you please.
Kai just beams when they see this and instructs Ginger to take it to the banquet hall where the food is actually located so everyone can partake. Thank you so much, Chef. I never doubted your skills for a second. I've heard stories, but I'm so glad I now get to experience this firsthand.
Wonderful. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, you see the little crab Ginger start to make this little happy dance and slowly roll these eggs that you were gifted from, I believe, Lady Charnine into this kind of very nicely padded basket. Where the basket came from, nobody knows. It just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And the little crab feels very secure that it can carry these eggs safely now. All right. Atondawe, did you have a gift to give as well?
Yeah, I've got a little something, something.
Wonderful. Why don't you go ahead and step forward then?
Okay, so Atantho is going to step forward and open her right hand and create a flower crown. So you'll see like vines that look like they're growing out of her tattoo start to like twine around themselves and then bloom. And she's going to give it to Kai, just reach her hand out once it kind of detaches itself from her arm and say, I think this would look most lovely on you. Go ahead, take it.
Kai takes it from your hands and just kind of like inspects it a little bit. Just kind of noting how just vibrant and pretty it is. And she puts it on her head. Thank you so much for this wonderful gift.
Oh, you look so special. Go ahead and give a little twirl.
You just see Kai like do like a one little spin and just kind of give a bow.
And Atando is going to look very satisfied and just step back into the crowd.
Hmm. All right. Would any royals, nobles, or guardians like to present a gift to Kai? Okay. Go ahead, Rin.
So, and she steps up with a giant jar, and inside are trinkets from every court. And she starts to slowly hand it over and is like, I know I just gave you one that I had made here, but I figured I would bring a better one for you. And it's all the trinkets that she has from one from each court.
Kai sees this and instead of giving this to Ginger, Kai actually puts it in her little like satchel herself and just holds on to them personally. I'm so glad that we've gotten to see each other again, and you know that you are welcome to the seas anytime that you need to.
Rain just kind of nods and says thank you, and then kind of backs away.
Wonderful. All right. Any other guardians, nobles, or royals that would like to present themselves and their gift to Kai?
Regine will step up.
All right. What do you have for us?
She steps up, and neatly folded in her hands is a kimono that reflects the beautiful colors of the Anemone seas. As she presents it to Kai, she bows gracefully. My dearest Kai, this is a kimono made of the Bosui silkworms, a kimono that is waterproof and will not be spoiled, though there's no spoiling these waters. They are beautiful, but it will not be weighed down by the water, so they could be swam through and you can enjoy it and will shimmer through the sea. Of course, it will not mirror your own beauty, but it will be in second.
Kai just kind of takes it from you and just kind of like touches the fabric, just really just marveling at how well this is made. Thank you so much for this, and I cannot wait to wear this on my next outing. And then she hands it to Ginger the crab.
Please visit when you wear it.
Oh, absolutely.
Wonderful.
Tala shows up, walking up to Kai and bows to her and says, "Hello, Guardian Kai. I hope that you received my fish that I told Howie about. And I also would like to gift the crabs, as well as the one who's helping you out here, with more worms, if you accept."
Quick question: How are the worms just being presented to me?
Oh, sorry. Whenever you accept, the worms will be magically transported to them wherever they stay.
Oh, I love that. They go on such long trips for me, so I really think that they'll appreciate this.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Anybody else have a gift that is noble, royal, or guardian that you would like to present?
Mara steps forward with a oyster, and she cracks it open with her claws, and inside is nestled a very special Meryl Tides pearl that she presents to Kai.
Kai picks up the pearl and just kind of like holds it at eye level, and just kind of you see it like twinkling in the light that's coming through the palace. And same thing with the other trinkets. She just kind of puts it in her satchel and pats it. Uh, Thank you so much for this, and I will be keeping a special eye on this one.
Wonderful. Empress Elysia, I believe you had something you would like to gift too?
Yes. Empress Elysia brings forth it's a large suncatcher crystal that you can put on the tops of your palace, and it'll filter out light into beautiful prisms of rainbow lights that'll go around the palace, and it'll decorate it very nicely. It goes very well with the ocean waters at the highest peak of the sun.
Kai just kind of like again just kind of like holds it up and just like looks at it through the. Oh my! I'm so sorry. Give me 2 seconds. My cats are doing the most. Oh no. You just see Kai looking through the rays of it, and then just very carefully hands it to Ginger to make sure none of it breaks or anything like that.
Wonderful. All right. Any other noble, royal, or guardian that would like to give a gift to Kai as they enter into the ball?
Yes.
Okay. What would you like to give King Lycanon?
Oenik will present Kai with a necklace that has a shark made out of green marble, inlaid like in a gold wrapping.
And while she would love to wear this necklace, she's currently wearing one right now. And again, thanks you for your generosity, and hands it to Ginger. But you definitely know for sure that this is going in her personal collection.
Wonderful. All right. Anybody else that would like to go that is noble, royal, or guardian? Speak up now or forever hold your peace.
Lady
Baroness?
would like to give a gift.
Okay, so we have the Baroness and Lady Enerd. Okay, Lady Enerd, why don't you go, and then we will go to the Baroness.
Lady Urinda approaches Kai with a sewn satchel that's decorated with light blue glyphs and held together with a blue cord. She presents it and says that it is from her homeland. It is snow that is enchanted to never melt. This will protect against any dangers that come and allow you to escape.
Ooh, escape. And she just kind of like just kind of like gives you a look. Interesting. I do actually think I might keep this one on me as well.
I just love how Kai is like taking half of the cat.
Oh.
It's so good. All right, Baroness, Star Seeker, what do you have to present to Kai?
So the Baroness Astrid will approach, head held high, but hands definitely shaking in nerves, and has a probably about head size velvet wrapped package in front of her that she will unveil to reveal not one, but it has turned into 3 paintings on this deep, beautiful black wood. And the paintings are all of different points of the sky, one right at sunset, one right at sunrise, and one at the dead of night. All made from glowing fungus pigments and magicked not to wash away. And she will present these with a deep bow and just offerings from the Moors, and we are honored to have received your invitation.
She just like looks at the painting and just really takes it in. Um, most of the paintings and art in Anemone Seas is very flowing and watercolored and muted in colors. So seeing something like this, she is going to give it to Ginger and tells Ginger this is going to go into the library.
The crab gives this very enthusiastic and excited nod. It seems to also enjoy this painting and looks at it for a little bit before it like tucks it under its shell so it can go into the library. All right, any other guardian, royal, or noble would like to present a gift? Now is your time before we move into the party and ball. Okay. All right. So as you begin to all filter in through to the ball itself, suddenly the whole ground begins to shake and you begin to wonder, are you under attack? Is something going on? And you see this giant dragon made of books worming its way through, kind of squeezing through some of the tunnels that are a little bit too small for it. But it comes almost like a golden retriever puppy with a happy look on its face. It comes up to you, Kai, gives you the driest lick in the world with its pages because it doesn't have saliva, it just has pages, but it licks you anyway. And then you watch as it throws up a quill that has great magic in it, and it begins to write a letter for you to read at a different time. But it is enclosed in an Anemone Seas history book. And then it wags its tails excitedly. Its long tail excitedly.
So upon receiving this, I'm going to see if I can just like hold a single page and just kind of like flip it down so now it's like dog-eared, and do it on the other side as well. And I'm just gonna like give it scritches on like whatever like book spines I can find.
Yeah, you're able to find those book spines and it flops down, causing the whole castle to vibrate as it begins to roll around under the scritches excitedly, and it begins to like move its tail, and some of the crystals are starting to fall into the water, which isn't such a big deal as it excitedly receives its scritches. All right. Since there's nobody else that would like to present a gift to Kai, we're going to go ahead and walk into the ball. And as you begin to walk in, you see tons of different denizens of the sea. You see mermaids that are also included in this, as there's this big kind of like open water area for all different kinds of sea life and sea creatures to kind of be able to enjoy the ball also, even if they don't have land feet. You see a few sirens beginning to sing. The atmosphere is just this very relaxed. You just feel like all of the stress of the day just kind of melts off of you here. It's just completely chill. The drinks make you feel this kind of warm, fuzzy inside. And tell me, Kai, what does the food situation look like? Like, what are the snacks? Like, what do you guys eat in Anemone Seas?
So, to some people, it might seem a little strange because there is seafood in Anemone Seas. You know, we are close to the seas, and you do see just a spread of different meats and seafoods just on the table. You have vegetables, there's a large array of fruits, there's edible flowers just all spread out through the banquet that you can just kind of pick up and eat as you go.
Wonderful. And every time you guys take like a bite of this, again, you feel those relaxing, like time in the sun type of vibe. Just, it's very chill. You don't even see any drama happening. Normally, when you go to a ball, there's like drama or somebody gets wine poured on them. But here, everybody seems to just have this air of relaxation and just the general enjoyment of each other's company. There's no drama or worries or anything like that. And even though the king and queen currently aren't present, you don't feel worried or a care in the world. So what would you guys like to do? Do you guys begin to just kind of dance? Do you guys want to go talk to some people here? What would you guys like to do as you are at this ball?
Oh, so before everyone starts dispersing,
Okay.
Kai does make a small announcement.
Sure, go ahead.
You are, she kind of spreads her arms wide and just says, you are more than welcome to explore the area that we are in. However, and she just kind of like looks out through one of the windows and notices that the moon isn't quite full in the sky, but it's up there. It's getting up there. And she says, if you do go outside, please just make sure you stay away from the darker sides of the beach. If it looks like it's pitch black, I highly suggest you stay away from that area, especially during the full moon.
All right, so what are you guys doing? Or what do you want to do? Is there any place on the map you think that would be interesting to explore? There's a few tables. There is one bedroom that is currently locked, as that is a guest quarters. But what would you guys like to do?
Kata loves feasting with Anemone Sea, so she's gonna go straight for that.
All right, please
She's
don't
gonna
eat.
she's gonna start partying, but keep
Okay.
an eye on her royals and her guardian to make sure that they don't get into trouble. Because if they do, she's gonna be right on their tails.
Good. I mean, we all know Ryuji tends to get into a lot of trouble. So tell me, Ryuji, what are you doing now that you're seeing the absolute splendor and chill vibes of this court?
She is very happy since the King of Anemone was born of the Falls. So she's very happy to see that the vibes are fantastic, the food's amazing, the accoutrements, the decoration, and she's very much like, he's definitely from Hyacinth still.
a little bit of court pride in there.
With excellent reason. With excellent reason.
Yeah, you see one of the mermaids kind of like eye you, Ryuji, and then she kind of like you see it in her eye, the glint of wanting to start something. And then she kind of looks over at her guardian and decides against it. But you see for a moment that a mermaid was gonna probably try to pick a fight with you. You've done something that the mermaids have been talking about a lot lately, and you don't even really know because you're too busy doing your own thing. So you might want to follow up on that later, but I don't really know what's going on that. All right. Would anybody like to do anything while they are here eating, drinking, vibing with people? Would anybody like to talk to anybody? There's a lot of different denizens here. You don't see the princess yet of Anemone Seas, but you kind of know she likes to stick to the shadows and will make herself known when she wishes to be known.
Arisana is kind of looking around a little bit nervously. She's looking for a kind of familiar but not familiar face, and also kind of looking for her acquaintances.
You see some of your acquaintances, which are mermaids, and mermaids are very catty and very chatty. They love all the latest gossip, but it seems they're trying to be very respectful of the chill vibes of tonight, not getting too catty, not getting too chatty, because you know that mermaids, they talk. They are the best places for gossip. They've got the scoops of the century usually. But they seem to be holding back quite a bit as they just kind of eat and enjoy, and sometimes Splash, somebody that kind of walks across to go to the throne room, in just a playful attempt to be themselves. But you don't see who you're looking for quite yet. All right, what would the rest of you like to do now that you are here?
Hala has on a drink in her hand, and she kind of like looks side to side, not knowing exactly where she wants to go until she sees some crabs on the side. And because she gifted them some worms, she just goes over and asks them if they're enjoying their time here and if they are enjoying their worms.
You see the little crabs, and these are much smaller than Ginger. And they kind of look at you, and you can see them snacking on some worms. And then one of them kind of like does like a come here closer with their claw. Do you get closer, Tala?
Yes.
As you get closer, the little crab whispers to you, and it says, "We weren't trying to cause trouble, but you're a guardian, so maybe you can help." But and you see like their eyes watering, little tears, saltwater tears begin to fall. But Howie was carried off by a seagull. And you see the little crabs begin to cry as they try to like hide themselves so Kai doesn't see.
Tala just kind of soothes them and tells them, "I'm so sorry. Maybe I can see if one of my other raven friends may be able to retrieve it back without causing any harm."
And those seagulls can be really mean, and it took Howie and its beak. And they just begin to like cry even louder, even though they're trying to muffle their crying.
Tala still soothes them and realizes that there's probably going to be no ending of those little crab tears. So as she gives them a little bit more worms right on the side for them, she just like slightly walks away and finds Kata to go and mingle with that group.
So you send your ravens out to kind of scope out to see maybe where the seagull went, but you're doing it quietly?
Yes.
Yeah, it's you know, it takes them a few minutes, and one of them kind of flies and sits on your shoulder and whispers in your ear. "They took Howie to the dark side of the beach because they know nobody's gonna go over there. This is big, Tala. This is really, really big. I don't know what they're doing, but they got a bunch of them, and they all have Howie in a little circle. And they're all, I don't know, but they're gonna I don't know, they may peck them to death. I don't know. You gotta, this is big, Tala. This is really big.
Before she can rush off, she realizes that it is going to be much bigger if no one's allowed or wanting to go towards that side. So she kind of looks side to side to find the guardian, Kai, and try to tell her about what is going on, if we should be worried about it.
So when you approach Kai and just kind of share the news that dear Howie is missing, and where he might be located, you see you you've never quite seen Kai look unput together, but you can definitely see just a quick flicker of just panic in their go across their eyes. Very much blink and you miss it. Uh oh, okay. I we let's think rationally about this. I we obviously we need to get Howie. However, I very much think that we need to have a plan before we go to that side of the beach. And she looks at the mermaids and just kind of like tilts her head in their direction. These mermaids here, these are Catty and Chatty. The things that live in the darker side are more fearsome. Very much a slash now talk later type of sort, if you get what I'm saying.
Okay, so should we consult them to see if maybe they can go and find out more about what is truly going on over there?
Um, so Kai is going to kind of scan the room to see if she can find and any more of the guardians or anyone who might be able to come with. And you actually see her walk to the center of the room and snap her fingers at her side, and another little crab, this is Jerome, comes up and he is holding a large conch shell. Kai takes the conch shell from him and blows it, and you just hear a loud sound come out of this conch shell, just so she can get everyone's attention.
Yeah,
And she
the room's attention.
and she then explains the Howie situation and asks for volunteers to see who would like to try to come in retrieve this crab. Before anyone says anything, she looks directly at the King of Wolfsbane Woods, um, and just kind of says, "Some of you I would love to come with. However, the moon might make things either harder or easier for some of the denizens, myself included, in this room right now. So just take that into consideration before you come with."
All right, who's gonna go save Howie?
Well, as Tala is standing right next to Kai while she is kind of covering her ears, but then lets go and says, I will definitely go with you. Howie and his crab friends are extremely lovely, and I see that his friends are really sad of that Howie's missing, so I will definitely go with you.
And Kai just nods and scans the room to see if anyone else steps forward to come look for Howie the crab.
Rain steps forward and says that she will go with them.
Okay, the King of Wolfsbane Wood and Lorcan, are you both going? Lorcan, feel free to just write it in chat.
Absolutely. Warning of the full moon aside, I'm not going to leave this poor little crab.
Okay. All right. And those of you that don't want to speak, you could just write it in chat too if you want to go. Oh, it looks like the princess is trying to catch your eye, Kai. Do you respond to her?
Yes, so Kai sees this and just kind of like smiles and gives her just a slight smile and a nod. Kai knows that she's still trying to get used to coming out and being seen in public, and just says, just so that only she can hear it, and just says, I will leave that up to your discretion.
Wonderful.
Looks like
Amaris will
Hyacinth is
join.
joining the party.
Okay. Princess, what were you saying?
Amaris will step out, kind of be like near Kai all of a sudden and be like, let's go save Howie.
So casual and laid back. I love it. Wonderful. I'm guessing Princess Curie you're gonna go to so you can wander right into danger.
Yeah, seems about right.
Love it. Okay. So, you guys all take off, and as you do, you kind of go to the beach, and the moon is now hanging in the sky, full and bright and vibrant and beautiful. And the beach seems honestly non-hostile to all of you. You begin to walk along its sand, it's glittering in the moonlight, the waves are crashing down. You're seeing some of the more translucent jellyfish begin to glow in the sea. And it just creates this just very magical atmosphere. Some of you are swimming along as you are mermaids. Some of the other mermaids are guiding the mermaids that are new to this seas so they don't get into trouble. But as you begin to walk, Kai, what does this darker side of the beach look like? What describe the feeling and how do we know we are walking into danger?
So when you are walking on the beach, obviously there's shadows. There's shadows on the beach just because that's just kind of how it works. However, you see a line of just black. Just everything just looks significantly darker, and there's jagged rocks on the side of the beach, almost as if it's closing off the side where you should not be. And it's just significantly darker. Um, the closer you get to that area, you notice that there is a little bit of a drop in temperature, and everything just seems to be quieter.
Queen Delphine, since you're here, are you also accompanying these newcomers to your court to the dark side of the beach with Kai?
I'd love to.
Wonderful. And as you begin to walk, Kai, your queen magically appears from the sea as if she's made of it. The sparkling, beautiful blue dress as she rises up to walk with you. Queen Delphine, would you like to describe your character, or do you have anything to say to all of these guardians and nobles of your court?
I welcome you to our court. I'm glad you're all here. Take care of you guys, so continue to enjoy your time here.
Wonderful.
And let's go to the dark side of the beach.
Thank you so much, my queen. As you begin to walk there, again, you do feel the temperature drop, as Kai said, and you don't really see the seagulls, actually. You kind of look to your bird, Tala, and the raven kind of like nods that it's further up ahead. But each step that you go, you feel this like pressure that you are definitely walking into danger. And it becomes darker and darker as you do. Um, Kai, what lives over here? Do you have like any stories or rumors that you want to tell the party to be aware of?
So Kai has seen these entities a handful of times. The first time actually was when she and Deirdre were younger, and Kai warned them that they had to be back before the sun went completely down. Because she knew that they were just kind of hovering at the edges. Um, from what the lore and the legends have, imagine a mermaid, but just much more grotesque. Whereas the mermaids have beautiful webbed fingers, these have claws. There's holes just in their skin. It's pocketed. Their teeth are just razor sharp, more sharp than most of the sea folk that you see here. Their eyes are just gaunt and sunken in. Um, the and then he kind of explains to them that while they look horrifying, they tend to pull their prey in because they just sound beautiful, and that is how they lure people to that side of the beach. Um, they have tried to remove them from anemone seas. However, they just kind of stay in their area, and we leave them be, and just don't go over there. And we have our little peace because we just never cross paths.
But now you are. And as they kind of look over at you, you see them in this kind of sneer, like you are impeding on their territory. And you can sense their hostile intentions as one of them begins to sing. I need everybody that is present to roll me a d20. If you get under a 15, you are charmed by this creature. So, and you can do a d20 just kind of on Google. But anybody that rolls under a 15, you are charmed by these creatures. Those of you that are higher than a 15, you are fine. So 15 and higher, you're okay. And then you can post it in chat what you got, and then I will pick on those that failed. So let's see. Oh, Rain. Oh no, Chef Monk. No. All right. So, as these kind of zombie, undead, almost type of mermaids begin to sing their very haunting song, you watch as Rain and Chef Monk and the queen of Disrana of Hyacinth Falls begin to like slowly walk. Like in a group this big, you almost don't notice them being pulled and lured away until they are maybe but a few steps, and you kind of look back and realize that you have people that are being lured here. What do you guys want to do? Those of you that are not affected by this song.
I aggressively lunged forward and grabbed Usana's wrist. I have lost her once. I will not lose her again.
Same.
Linek will run and grab Rain's shoulders to stop her.
Okay, yeah, you kind of grab her, but she doesn't seem to come out of her trance, neither does the queen. And you see that as you begin to try to pull them away, they become violent and like trying to shove you and try to push you away because they want to go and be lured. They are charmed and being called. What do you guys want to do?
Well, Dusana's being tackled by her guardian and her priestess, so I'm assuming we're just gonna sit on her until she stops fighting.
I mean, yeah, I don't think she can really deny the strength of a guardian. What about Chef Monk? I don't think anybody's grabbed the chef as he's being pulled.
Yuri is like desperately pulling him back by like the backpack, and like she's even using her wings to like try to pull him away from the waters. Just like, no, you can't go in there. No, no, no. How is it that I'm not the one in danger this time?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Kai, to your horror, you realize your princess is one step away from those mermaids. You kind of turn and look, and her being so good at the shadows, you didn't even notice it until it was out of the corner of your eye. What do you want to do?
Kai runs forward and just grabs her by the forearm, and then you see Kai extend their hand out to the waters, but not towards where the evil mermaids are. You see them extended to the other side of the sea, and a ripple starts to form, and from the waters comes a golden trident, and it just comes directly to her hands.
And what are you going to do with that? The mermaids are, you've taken their prey. This is their territory. Anybody that crosses over was fair game to them, and you have blatantly disrespected that treaty. So they are looking at you as they have been slighted, and they are pretty much ready to fight you. What do you want to do, Kai?
So I'm just going to look at how many are there?
There's about 25 of them,
Oh God.
all kind of in this like small cave. And you can see the bones of their victims and sea creatures kind of piled up around them. And you can see that they have created a lot more of them than you were even aware of. You just don't come over here. You can see that some of them were actually victims of your court's other mermaids that they have turned to be like them.
So still holding on to the princess and then tried it in the other hand. She just kind of taps it on the ground just to get their attention and tells them, I am just here for one of my subjects. I am just here because we've heard that someone crossed over when they should not have been. We are just here for the crab, and then we will leave.
You see one of them that seems to have this like crown of thorns around them, seems to be maybe the more intelligent of them, and he begins to speak in this very gruntal primal way, but you can understand what he is saying, Kai. And he says, you created this treaty. You said that those that cross over are fair game for us to feed on, and now you go back on what you have said.
Kai just kind of does not break eye contact and tells them, this crab was not supposed to be here. Something or someone came from the side of the island, snatched him up, and brought him back over. I simply want him back, and you will never see us again.
It looks at you and it begins to hiss in this kind of feral, disturbing way. And it says, you will say that for everyone that does not cross over, you are breaking this treaty. And it lunges to attack you. What do you want to do?
So with the hand that's still holding the princess, I just shove her backwards, and the trident is now just raised towards this entity coming towards me.
Okay. You begin a dance and a movement, which is very hard, hanging on to one person that is trying to pull away from you. And
I pushed her away, so
okay,
I
you
can have
pushed her
both
away.
hands. Yeah, so I can have both hands and then trident.
Perfect. And as you do that, the others begin to jump on Priestess Kata and begin to try to drag the queen under the water and away from you. What are the rest of you doing? Because they're coming after those that are charmed. They seem to only be targeting those.
So if we're charmed, do we want to attack those who aren't charmed, or like what are we?
You just want to
And
go with the mermaids. You don't
I'm
want
sorry,
to
why am I being dragged? I got confused. I'm
because
not
you
charmed.
are sitting on the queen of Hyacinth
Gotcha.
Falls. So they
Gotcha.
are attacking you because you are holding their prey from them. So what do you guys want to do?
I blow fire at them because my queen, not theirs.
Okay. Uh, are the rest of you deciding to get into fighting? Or
Yes.
okay.
Talith sees that the mermaid that is gonna attack Kata is still trying to fight over the fire because water against fire. Tala is gonna go over there and uses her spear to kind of like get in between and push, even though thankfully her spear does not get harmed by any fire.
Wonderful. Queen Delphine, how are you fighting? What does that look like? Do you have a weapon that you pull out to fight these corrupted or undead type of mermaids? How are you fighting? And you've known about this issue for a long time, so you're not new to this. But how are you dealing with this?
With claws and teeth, I will
Wonderful.
attack them, rushing at the person nearest to me.
Beautiful. And you guys watch, you never thought that Queen Delphine was this kind of fearsome protector, but she is. And you watch as she begins to grow these kind of long claws that are just beautiful, like long fingernails, and begins to beat up one of the kind of undead mermaids. Um, what are the rest of you guys doing with the victims? Are you going to try to stuff their ears or
Yes.
okay.
I'm going to start tearing fur from my outfit and shoving it in the ears of the charmed, starting with Rain, who I'm already holding.
Perfect. And as you do that, Rain, you begin to feel your sense of self wash back over you like you've been like poured cold water on. And you begin to kind of like feel yourself come back as you're kind of deafened.
I'm sorry, Rain. You gotta deal with your head.
Rain actually breaks down and just collapses and almost starts crying.
Oh.
Leineck will hesitate just a moment to give Rain a reassuring squeeze on the shoulders before rushing over to Monk and doing the same.
Okay. Yep. And as you kind of stuff that fur into Chef Monk's ears, he feels his sense of self return to him, and he is no longer charmed. Oh.
And I'm just going to proceed and just keep going to everyone I can see who's charmed, shoving fur into their ears until they're all done, and then shift into my wolf form.
I will say the only person you seem to not be able to do that is with Princess Amaris, as she tries to grab Kai's Triton and take it from her. What do you want to do about that, Kai?
Looking at Amaris, she knows that this definitely is not her. She's not trying. She likes to stay in the shadows. Does not like to cause problems, and she just tries to think of something that will bring her back to herself. And so normally Kai has just normal teeth, but anyone familiar with sharks knows that they are serrated and in rows. And Kai actually yanks the trident closer to her and opens her mouth, and you just see the rows of just teeth as she looks directly at Amaris and says, "I need you to let go."
Princess Amaris, does this work for you, or what do you want to do? How do you respond to this?
Confirm if her ears have been blocked or not.
No, because you were currently fighting with Kai, but the King of Wolfsbane Wood is coming up right behind you, about to stuff it into your ears. So you are moments away from being uncharmed. But what do you want to do before that happens?
I think so. Kai, can you feel that like there's a slight tremble in Amaris's arms as she grips onto the trident, like she's trying to fight against herself. But she just tries to twist the trident, try and like twist it out of Kai's grip.
Okay. And as you are kind of fighting for power over this Triton, suddenly you're distracted, and it gives the king the perfect moment to stuff your ears with the fur. And then you feel your sense of self kind of wash over you. But as that happens, one of the mermaids bites Kai right on her arm, and blood begins to just pour out, which for Lorcan is probably not a great thing. And as that happens, Kai, how do you want to respond?
Okay. So hold on. Is she still holding on to the trident or no?
I would you let go once you were uncharmed?
Yeah. Like once she like have that moment of like going back, she'll like just like quickly like let go and kind of like push it back away from her, like back towards Kai, and like step back in like confusion as she like gets her whereabouts back around her.
Okay. So as Kai feels this, she just kind of like yanks and just pivots herself to see if she can knock the mermaid off. And it's just like she'll switch the trident from two hands to one to see if she can just move around and stab the mermaid.
Yeah, you kind of swing around, stab it right through the chest, and it kind of falls back into the pool of water, hissing at you. Not unalive yet, but it is extremely upset. Um, what do the rest of you want to do as you watch this happen?
As soon as Dusana, I see she's come to her senses, I give her a quick hug and then step forward with my staff and cast a barrier around those who are fighting. So I step forward as a defensive measure.
Okay. As you do that, you are counterspelled essentially by one of the mermaids, who laughs at you and tries to take a bite out of you. I need you to roll me a d20, priestess. Kata? I love how Empress Elysia is still enjoying the ball. It was like, I'm not going out there. Fuck that shit.
So real. Is there a joust going on?
Yeah, there actually
The
is a
joust is
mermaid.
outside.
There is a mermaid joust happening. You see them with long sticks of coral, and they are jousting in the pool, and it is very entertaining to watch. And these mermaids are hot. They've got like armor on made of different seashells. And they kind of like whip their hair back for you and kind of give you a wink, Empress Elysia, as they all seem, you being one of the only royals left, they are fighting for your token of appreciation, which you were given by one of the court denizens to bless them with. Do you want to bless the hot green mermaid or the hot red mermaid?
Go with the hot red mermaid.
Perfect. And he kind of like throws his like long red hair back. You can see kind of like the red scales on his face. And he takes your token and he kind of wraps it around his jousting stick. And then we will get back to the results of that in a moment. What are the rest of you doing with this?
I rolled a 9, by the way. I put it in the chat.
Wonderful. So you get bit and you are now poisoned. You are going to have to find a specialist to deal with that poisonous bite. So hopefully you can maybe find one in a different court, but this is not a normal bite.
Help.
The
Tala is
priestess
there for her bestie.
Yeah. You see Tala as Priestess Kata gets bit, and it's kind of like this growing infection in her body. What do you want to do as you see that happen?
She definitely pins Kata to the ground to inspect the wound and goes to goes with her pinky claw and like pokes at it just to like see if it is poison in her that's gonna like cause her to die through her blood. And I'm not sure if it's poisoned or not. So
Yeah, as you kind of inspect that wound, as another kind of person jumps to fight the one that had bit the priestess, you realize that if this is not treated in a timely manner in a few months, Kata will turn into one of them. So you will need to find somebody maybe that's good with herbs to figure out how to pull that poison out. Anybody that is bit here tonight, you will need to go find somebody to help you not transform into one of them. For
The irony
guardians,
is I'm the one good at herbs.
but this is unknown to you. You have never experienced this before in this court. For Kai that got bit, you are strangely not affected by this. It seems to be that you cannot be turned by one of these creatures, but it does hurt like hell. All right, anybody?
Can you protect me, please?
Anybody else fighting? I need you to make me a roll. I need you to give me a d20 roll. If you get a 15 or higher, you are fine. If you get a 15 or lower, you have been bitten and will need to find a cure. And this is only for those fighting. Those that decided to not fight, you are not affected by this. Oh, Princess Amaris, why are you so bullied tonight? Oh my gosh. 6. Okay, looks like oh no, the Queen of Hyacinth Falls was also bit. Oh gosh. Wonderful. Okay, so
me, Majesty.
yeah, so as you guys begin to fight off these awful mermaids, you beat them back into submission. Some of them disappearing under the water to fight another day. It is not advised without the guardian to go after them. Even the mermaids kind of pull you back and stop you that, where they go, there are worse dangers than them. And they advise you to take the advice of Kai. Unless Kai is going after them, do not do it. But the rest of you are able to defeat most of them and lick your wounds for a moment. Do you guys want to proceed further into the darkness?
We still got to save Howie.
We do still have to save Howie.
Yes, you have not saved Howie quite yet. So you
Chiming
guys
in to
want
say we gotta save the boy.
Yep. Yeah, you don't know who has the antidote, but that is something that Kai can maybe look in the archives of their library later and see who might know about that.
Arizona has been walking up on the beach and has stuffed her ears when she kind of saw a bit of the situation. Did she see the bites, and does she recognize it from her time in the library?
No, you actually don't recognize it from your time in the library. This is something relatively new. You know that there's not much known about these creatures. They haven't been thoroughly studied by anybody because they're too hostile to. And so this is something completely unknown. And usually their victims do not make it out. But luckily, with so many guardians and very powerful royals and nobles, everybody was able to make it out. But there have been no victims to study, per se, because they don't usually make it out.
While everyone is also getting their bearings together, Kai is actually going to start grabbing seaweed and just like sea sponges and handing it out to everybody and instructs them to put these in their ears if they can't find anything else.
Wonderful. It's a great idea.
Yuri's gonna kind of raise her hand and goes like, I think I should go back to the party. I think this is a lot. This is a lot, guys. I'm gonna go.
Arizona will escort Princess Curie back to the party.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. Princess Curie, you walk into this like hotty-toddy jousting going on. You see these men doing flips in the air. They haven't begun to really joust yet. They're just kind of showing off. You see Princess Elysia kind of hand one of her tokens, and as you come in, the other green mermaid kind of swims up to you and goes, "Will you give me a token of your appreciation? I'm about to fight for honor against this fool."
And you see kind of Kiri on in that side of her head. She's just doing like a big eye roll, and she's just like, and she takes off one of the bangles on her wrist, and she goes, here, and she gives it to him.
He takes it. You see his eyes sparkling with kind of like charm and delight. And he goes, "Thank you, Princess Curie." And he puts it on and he kind of like lifts his joust. "Now we must show appreciation for the most beautiful women in this court, Empress Elysia and Princess Curie." And they begin to like do this whole dance routine that she didn't even think that they would do. This is supposed to be a joust, but they're dancing. Yeah, exactly like that, Princess Elysia. This is very manly, sexy dancing. So, all right, back to the beach. As you guys begin to walk further in, seaweed stuffed in your ears or wolf's wood. You begin to walk further on the beach, and then you see them, all of those blasted seagulls. And Howie is in the middle of what looks to be a summoning circle, and it is intricate. You never thought in your life that seagulls could build something this intricate, this kind of summoning circle. You don't know if they're the true mastermind or if there's another mastermind present. But Howie is too terrified. You see his little like crab legs shaking in terror. He's like clutching his like claws to his face. Like he doesn't know what to do. What do you guys want to do?
Is there like space and distance to just reach up and like grab them and run out?
This is a huge summoning circle. It is meters long, and this is a tiny little crab. Yeah, it is like you don't know. It blows your mind. You don't think that seagulls did this. You just think that they're an accomplice. So what do you all want
Seagulls
to
are
do?
actually evil, so.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. So, what do you guys want to do?
Who wants to help like distract and scare off seagulls so that whoever's fastest can teamwork it to grab him?
Leinik will look up at Rain to just kind of check, see if they're okay, and then sprint at the circle of seagulls and just snapping and biting at as many seagulls as he can reach.
Yeah.
Ryindra
Oh, go on,
is
lady.
Ryindra was also beside Rain. After looking up at her pretty worriedly, she takes the other flank and same method in wolf form, snapping and biting, trying to distract.
Okay. All right. What are the rest of you doing?
Chef Monk uses his illusion magic to create a giant French fry and throws it down the beach.
This is very effective. You watch Chef Monk as these seagulls, very driven by food, and they're not really evil. They're just food driven. They look up and you see at least half of the flock go after this giant French fry, and they begin to all scream, "Mine! And the other part of the flock is kind of chased away by the wolves biting them, but it still leaves Howie in the middle of this like circle, and he's kind of like shaken with his little legs, and he kind of looks at you, Kai, tears in his little eyes as he looks at you for help.
I see this, and okay, so how many seagulls are left in
Um,
relation to about where
m-
he's at?
Maybe like 3 or 4. Like the wolves and the French fry did most of the damage.
Okay,
So
perfect. So I think I'm just gonna, assuming that nothing else is coming towards us at this current moment in time, I'm just gonna go and snatch up Howie.
as you do that, Kai, you
Ah,
realize this was a trap set for you. Howie was never what they were after. You watch as these dark spun cultists further down the beach chant, and the circle activates, encompassing you in this impossible bubble that cannot be penetrated. And Howie looks up at you and he says in his tiny little crab voice, "They wanted you, Kai. They wanted you. They never cared about me. You shouldn't have come." What do the rest of you do? Kai is now in this impenetrable bubble. There are cultists further away. What do you guys want to do?
I just want to know what Lorcan does after all the lore that's dropped.
Yeah, Lorcan, what do you do?
I think Lorcan can only write, but that's
The
fine.
fact that you just asked, what did Lorcan do? For all ACOTAR fans, you know exactly what I'm talking
I don't
about.
know. Lorcan is typing, so we'll find out.
It's not my sister-in-law, but that's sister-in-law. Go get her.
Okay, yeah.
So,
As you begin to kind of claw at this giant kind of bubble that is slowly activating, you see the rings of the magic circle are slowly forming around an activating layer at a time. You scratch, you claw, you bite it, you throw yourself against it, and it is nothing is penetrating it. You cannot get in, and Kai, you are completely frozen with Howie in your hand in the middle of the circle. What are the rest of you doing?
Rain's gonna actually go after, like, shakes herself off enough to realize Kai's in danger, and actually, instead of going for the circle, goes for the cultists.
Okay, perfect. Anybody that is kind of trying to go for these cultists, please roll me a d20. 15 or higher will be counted as a successful stabbing. And then you can just put your number in chat. So Rain and Knight Daedra, you go in, and Princess of Hyacinth Falls, you come in, and Ryuji. Okay, we got the whole crew at this. Wonderful. So you guys all go in, and you guys stab at these cultists, but they don't even bleed. You watch as your knife or your claw kind of just goes through them like this dark, misty form. And as they do, they just laugh at you as they begin to dissipate. No body, no blood left behind. but you hear their words as they speak very, very softly in this almost inhuman voice. The Guardians are never safe. And as you guys begin to dissipate them by stabbing or clawing or using your magic, the bubble around Kai begins to fall as the circle wanes in power, and you are safe for now.
Am I unfrozen at this point?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay,
because
perfect.
they have gotten rid of the cultists.
Okay, perfect. Now was I able to hear all that, hear and
Yes.
see all that? Okay,
You
perfect.
have in your domain, Kai, you can hear, from that distance perfectly fine.
Okay. I wasn't sure how frozen I was. All right. So after hearing and seeing all this, Kai just puts Howie against like their chest and turns to everyone else and just says, "We need to get out of here now."
Do you all make for the castle?
Nakari has been dragging Jusan and I back to the castle since they all went after the cultists.
Wonderful. You guys begin to drag back or run back, but you feel like something is chasing you. Some darkness, something is just trying to nip at your heels. You haven't felt so terrified in a long time. And the cultists had a message to send to you. Maybe they knew that this was not going to be successful with as many of you as there were. But the Guardians are not safe. And as you guys begin to make it back to the party, Howie in hand, he kind of rejoins his crab friends and tells them the great story that happened. You guys walk in just as the joust is finally starting. They did a striptease, they did all these other crazy things, and then the joust begins. And you watch as the green and the red mermaid begin to splinter their coral jousting sticks against each other in their fine armor that they've had to put on again. And you watch as the crowd goes wild, seemingly unaware of everything that has happened. What do you guys want to do? Or do any of you want to talk to each other over what has happened so far?
I don't think I would interrupt the joust, but I
Okay.
think I would just kind of turn, let them have their fun. I would just kind of turn to the guardians that are currently with us right now, and just say, "We will table this for later. We need to figure out what exactly they meant."
I feel
To
like we
quote
need
How to
to.
Train Your Dragon, I am hurt! I am very much hurt!
Oh yes, we also need to deal with that.
I feel like
Yeah.
Ryuji is like the overly concerned mom right now, and she's like brushing all their hair out their face and like holding their faces in their hands and checking everyone just to make sure all the hyacinth girlies are okay.
They're not okay. One of yours got bit real bad. And as you kind of look over this, Ryuji, you haven't seen a poison like this before. It is blackened, and any healing magic that you kind of pour into it just makes it worse and more painful for Priestess Kada. And it is very, very worrisome as you kind of look over this. You have not seen something like this before, nor has it ever been studied.
Um, at this point, Kai would also most likely make a quick, like bolting it to the library, um, knowing that there is a book that they have from Foxglove Glen on poisons that she managed to pick up from one of the denizens there, and it's going to come back to the banquet hall with it.
Perfect. As you begin to kind of pour over that book with those present, you learn, there's a lot about poisons in here, especially poisons that are used to poison other people. But this bite is something that these other creatures have fabricated and made and adapted to. And I think it's going to take some study to try to figure out what might be the antidote. But you could definitely do that with others. And maybe consult with different herbalists to see what might work. But so far that any healing magic seems to only make it worse. So magic doesn't seem to be the key for this, as it seems to be more of medicinal maybe use that is probably better for this. So
I know it probably won't do anything, but I still shove my medicine bag with all my dried herbs at them as if in case any of it helps. I doubt there's anything in there that will, but
yeah, you kind of shove the. We'll say that you shove the kitchen sink on this wound. Like you just throw whatever healing properties you think might work, but you don't see really any effect. You think that with this kind of knowledge, whatever you create has to have a very high dosage to contradict this poison.
I actually meant like I give my potions bag to those trying to heal us as like
Okay.
as a ingredient stuff, so they can like use basic things to like staunch the bleeding and stuff, but I don't expect it to like heal anything.
Okay, yeah,
We do
good idea.
what Princess Akari says and find the chatty mermaids. If they have all the gossip and tea, maybe they know what this is and how to treat it.
That's a great idea. Yeah, you kind of watch as the jousting comes to the end, and the red knight wins. And Elysia, he comes up to you and goes, "My lady, might I have a kiss from the most beautiful empress?" Do you give him a kiss, Empress Elysia?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was just looking at everyone's bleeding. I don't believe that this is a performance anymore. It seems a little too realistic. A little too realistic. I'll have to consult on that. But yes, I do give him a nice, big French kissy kiss.
He is smitten with you. I hate to say this, but there might be a red-haired mermaid in your court from now on.
Hell yeah. Hell
Because he
yeah.
is absolutely smitten with you.
Absolutely. That's my my harem of mermaids.
There you go.
I'm
You're
starting
building your
it as
personal
a
harem.
alliance between the Anemone Seas. He's my royal harem, the royal harem court of hotties.
Wonderful. I love
It's
it.
gonna be
Yep.
fantastic. They'll be
He's
messengers. They're smart. They're hot. Love
I
it.
will say, Empress Elysia, this guy does not give the smart vibe. He gives the hot vibe. He is not giving
Listen, the
smart
stupid ones can
vibe.
always be trained. It's okay. Just simple directions. You, there, this, that, me, kiss. Okay?
As long as you're aware.
I love
Wonderful.
I love it.
Yeah, as this joust and the excitement begins to fade, the chatty mermaids kind of come up to the edge of the pool, looking at the wounds, and they are already gossiping about it. And they're just like, "Oh my gosh, that looks so gnarly. It looks so bad." Kai, do you want to address them, or is somebody else addressing them?
Kai will go to the mermaids and just kind of like snap at them and tell them this is not the time for gossip. We need to know what you know about poison now.
They kind of like snap to attention, seeing the seriousness in your demeanor, and you see that all of their kind of like playful, fun behavior begins to fade, and they go, "Oh, yeah, well, how do we say this? We haven't found a cure because it's taken quite a few of our people too. Um, and they kind of like look over, can we smell it? Can you bring one of the injured over? We've never gotten a chance to smell it before. Maybe that'll tell us about it." And you know that mermaids have a very good sense of smell. It's how they smell different fish that they want to feed on and things like that, especially underwater. And they look for a volunteer to smell the wound.
I volunteer myself,
Okay.
so that my queen doesn't have to be approached unless healing.
Okay, yeah, they kind of, and they're very gentle about it. They're not rough with you. They're very respectful, and they kind of like breathe in a very long sniff of this poison. Um, and they kind of look back at you, Kai. I think there are some herbs that might help it, but I don't know about a cure. We can definitely collect the coral we think might help and grind it down into a powder. But I mean, it's all going to be an experiment, Guardian Kai. Do we do experiments here? I don't want to impose, but
you just see Kai look exasperated and just like drag a hand slowly down their face. And it's just like, yes, please look at the corals, get whatever you think might work.
And they kind of nod and then dive down into the water to collect corals that they think might help at least give the infected a little bit longer. But it seems that this is something that they don't know fully how to cure either. It seems that they might have like a band-aid for it, but it's just a band-aid until it can be evaluated.
And then at this point, I am also gonna try to see if I can find Val, just so that I can be like, I know you're good with herbs. Can you please try to help us out?
Ryindra is quietly having an observation as she's kind of, still in wolf form, still in the back, towards the back of the crowd, realizing that Guardian Kai was also bitten, but not having the same effects as the others, and wondering if it's something that she might be carrying or something about her that is not allowing the poison to work properly.
Yeah, that's a great question. How do you want to address that, Kai?
I think Kai would be immune to it just because they grew up so close to the seas, and just their status as the guardian, they're just immune to certain things, and this would be one of them in particular. But taking that into consideration, though, you see her go to a table that has a clamshell on it and walks back, and she just puts it on her hand and just cuts her hand open, and you just see her hand dripping with blood, and she just says, do you think we can maybe just use this then if it's not affecting me?
All right, I'm gonna need somebody, maybe Narco. Who has the healer, or has picked a healer, and this can be a normal guest as well. Have any of the healers,
Please check the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fallon's been trying to talk.
Yeah, I kept getting cut off. Sorry. But that's again, that's like a main thing for them is that their big specialty is healing and herbs. And I just picked up today, if you guys have checked the recent RPs, a book specifically about the plants and life in anemone seas. So
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So as you kind of look over that, you realize that you are going to need multiple herbs and multiple healers of different courts in order to address this. This is a very awful disease, and it is going to take the combined efforts of other plants from other courts and other healers to kind of make this cure possible. So everybody's going to have to work together that knows herbs and stuff, but you can be the lead on this. So you will gather up other healers, discuss what plants are beneficial to this, and you can kind of experiment on Kada if you want to see what works and to make a cure for this once and for all.
yeah, let's collab together, guys.
Yep. So this is for any guest that has picked up healer or herbalist or things like that. Work with Fowl, who is the guardian of Wolfsbane Woods, to figure this out. And as you guys work together, I will drop little tidbits on what you need in your role play as you guys work together to find a cure for those that have been horribly affected by this.
Elysia carries like a necklace. Well, she's actually bathed in crystals. Like she wears crystals all over her. That's come from her. She has like a power that can purify pretty much any type of corrupted energy. She doesn't recognize this type of poison, so she's not really sure if this is gonna work or if this poison is corruption itself. But she offers like crystals to each of the people that are affected. It doesn't necessarily use magic, so it could work, but it attracts the poison to a more pure environment, sort of like lures them out from like the current body to like another environment. So that's what she offers.
Love that.
Yeah, as you begin to place these crystals on, it doesn't draw out the poison completely from them. It just concentrates it at the bite mark that was left behind at the where the rotting flesh is happening. But you definitely realize this maybe has stabilized them for a time as long as they keep the crystal on them, but the disease is not gone for good. It definitely needs a permanent cure, but you have at least given them a little bit more time to figure this out together. So you have put a bigger band-aid on it, if you will, as long as they do not lose that crystal. So those of you that are affected, if you lose that crystal, it is going to come back with a much rapider pace than before. So
Perhaps we could take some seaweed and purified salt and wrap the crystal around the wound.
Yeah, that's a
with
great
the seaweed,
idea. Yeah.
with the salt, because salt purifies. It hurts, but it purifies.
So they just don't lose the crystal that's keeping
Yeah,
them.
that too.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and I don't think we'll have time to do this role play tonight with all of the healers, but you guys are welcome to make something in the fairy role play, and I will pop in occasionally to give you tidbits and hints as you guys all work together and collaborate. So,
I have an idea for that if anyone wants to reach out.
perfect. Yeah, work with Fowl on that.
I
Marika will also
I would
help
like to
out.
be the guinea pig on the poison experimentation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Save the royals a bit.
Exactly. You know, it's almost good you got bit, Kata, because now you get to be the guinea pig.
Out of character, Ashley, are you really gonna kill me?
No, no, I'm not that mean. I'm not that mean. I'd never make you lose your character that you absolutely love and adore. That's not what I do.
Thank you.
Yet.
I was waiting for that. You were a little too comfortable saying that.
All right. Since the
You
rest of
live.
you are at the party, still, enjoying but slightly traumatized, is there anything else you would like to do while you are here at the party? Or are you guys just all like in a
I would like to
chair
not
eating
die at the
shawarmas?
party.
Is it like the Avengers scene where everybody's just kind of sitting down, relaxing, and eating as they've
Oh, the
just
shawarma
finished a
scene?
battle? Yeah, the shawarma
Yeah,
scene.
the post battle in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, what? I don't follow that stuff. That's
Exactly.
for the mundane.
Yeah, but you're just eating, crab and lobster and hanging out. But I'm sure at this point you might have a lot of questions for Kai too. You know, why has Anemone Seas been keeping a peace treaty with these things? Why haven't they gotten rid of them? So there might be some wonderful roleplay opportunities to ask some questions to your guardian, figure out the secrets that they've been hiding.
Kiri's gonna go and try to find some alcohol.
And it is easy to find, and all of the drinks just make you feel instantly relaxed and chill. Like, even though you've seen a lot of stuff tonight, the moment you have a sip, you're just like, oh yes, this is the vibe, and just instantly relaxed.
Ariandra goes to the finds the alcohol and immediately downs a lot, and then takes a glass over to Rain, who is still in the corner looking traumatized.
Can you also bring some to the poison party? I'd love a drink.
Yes, as soon as I deliver to Rain, I'm taking glasses over to the poison parties.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Is there anything else anybody would like to do while they are at the party, or anybody they would like to talk to while you're here? Hi, Maggie's just vibing on the beach. Like, I'm done. On the good side of the beach, right? Like, you're not going to the bad side, right? Hi, Maggie, you don't have a death wish?
I came in late, so I'm gonna in character go up to Lagniak and be like, "Hey, so I got here. Y'all were fighting, so I went to fight. What happened? Can I? Huh? Can we not do a peaceful excursion even just once? It's either drugs or fight. What's happening?"
Sorry, I think I caught my name. Who's talking?
Your guardian.
Oh, so like I'm still in my wolf form, so I guess I'll like shift back. There was it all happened. It all happened really fast. A crab got kidnapped. and we went to go. Crab got
His name is
grabbed by some
Howie.
seagulls.
Put some
Howie got
respect on that
grabbed.
shit.
I apologize. I'm a bit flustered. We went on a rescue mission. Some of us got charmed by mermaids. Some people got bit. They appear to be poisoned. Hopefully, you can help. And it was all a trap for Kai, and now we're all a little bit on edge. Yeah. I don't know why we expected anything less chaotic on a full moon way.
It's true.
I did warn you that if we came out here,
it's true. And
at least I chose to wear fur. It came in helpful.
It's true.
I'm glad you're dressed.
Oh man, that's brutal. And Faye, you did hear that on the beach as you were fighting, your wolf ears did pick up that the cultists said that guardians are not safe. There is something going on.
I was going
that
to ask if I heard that.
Yes, you did hear that for sure. You have very good hearing. So you do know that there is something deeper and darker going on that maybe needs to be figured out.
So Rain
And
is actually gonna go up to Fue and literally dump out her belt like on the table because she carries so much stuff from other courts like herbs and crystals, and she's collected things from every court and basically just silently shove them all at her like maybe any of these will help. And she's very, very flustered right now, so she's just kind of frantically like shoving things at her.
Is gonna go ahead and put what seems like might be useful into their pack. Thanking Rain, offering like a little. Do you want a hug? Does Rain want a hug?
Rain just kind of like slumps down into a chair, and the only thing she's kept from her belt is like these bottles that she's just clutching, and she's just kind of sitting there like wide-eyed.
Foy's gonna like walk up to the side of you and do like that side shoulder hug, like leaning over you to be like, it's okay. I don't understand what's going on now, but you will be okay.
Rain just kind of nods and is like, thank you.
You see
We got you.
how we come up to each and every one of you that kind of protected and came for him, and you see him put a tiny little pearl in front of each and every one of you as a thank you gift. You see his little eyes water, and those of you that can speak to animals, he says, "Thank you, and I'm sorry for all the trouble."
You don't have to be sorry. You didn't do anything.
He uses his head to kind of roll the pearl to you, Fowl, and just kind of like you see little tears in the corners of his eyes as he is so sad that he caused so much trouble tonight.
No. I'm giving him head pats. I'm just like, you didn't do anything wrong. You existed, and so did they, and they were in the wrong.
Yeah, he just kind of like gives you like a little like nuzzle, like as best as a crab can against your hand, and then he kind of waddles away and puts a pearl in front of another person and another person until everybody has a pearl of Howie that they can keep as a little trinket.
Kella then raises her glass and shouts, "Let's celebrate Howie."
Oh,
To Howie.
Agreed.
You see his like
It was
little claws lift up like a tiny little clamshell bowl with just like little salt water in it so he can drink too. And you can see him like if crabs could smile, he's smiling as you all cheer for him.
it was worth getting poisoned to save you.
This little crab just begins crying out of gratitude that he is so loved. It's just like little, I don't know, he's just sobbing. It's so cute. I can't even describe it. Like, he's just so grateful that you all love him this much. And you see as Ginger comes by, carrying all of the items and stuff, the gifts, and Ginger speaks in a language that you all can understand. Now that we're here, we gotta do honors to the sea. So we're all gonna get our sea legs on us and do the traditional dance of anemone seas, crab style. And begins to do a crab dance and wants you all to participate in the crab dance. And all the crabs begin to join in. Do you all do the crab dance?
Please do the crab dance for
Yes.
Howie.
We
For
tap
Howie,
dance
yes.
for Howie.
For anyone else, no. Yes.
And all it really is like kind of like bouncing on the ground and lifting your hands up and just kind of like to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right until you're all like coordinated. And you do it for a few minutes as they play a very sick tune called the Dance of the Crab. And everybody kind of joins in that can do it. Mermaids, other creatures, they all kind of move their legs as the other crabs join in. And they kind of look up at you all. To the heroes of Anemone Seas and our most beloved guardian Kai. And they all take a little clamshell of seawater for you all. Oh my god, Lorcan, stop being an anarchist. I swear to God. You're gonna get one of these crabs drunk. Oh my gosh.
In
Lorcan,
Lorcan's defense, I've seen several people in the chat saying, like, I'm eating a crab rangoon. I'm at the lobster table. So it's not just
Yeah.
Lorcan.
No! Wow, Kata, we were trying to save you.
Just don't eat the lobster in
Well, I
front of
do want
Howie,
to say,
please.
someone actually mentioned a Lavender Valley healer was like, does the pearl help with the poison?
It seems to be one of the ingredients that might help with it. So you could put the Pearl of Howie might be one of the ingredients, but it's going to take some experimentation and scientific fun to figure that out with all of the other healers and herbalists that people that have taken on that. So I'm very excited to see the collaboration that's going to happen because every court has different techniques in healing, different herbs, different plants. So this is a really great opportunity for all of those that are healers to kind of come together and work together on that exciting project. Even though it's like terrible, you know. But that's how people come together. Terrible things happen, and that's how they join together.
And it looks like I might have a really smudged recipe. Yeah.
And of course, there must be more food. All right, so
I hunt all the food.
That is true. So that is going to end tonight's session in Anemone Seas. Thank you so much for joining us these next 2 weeks. Please feel free to speak with the denizens and role play here and get to really know the people that live here and their culture and their specialties and things like that. And, you know, just learn about this court. You have Kai and you have other people here that they have a pretty big court, so you shouldn't have a problem finding somebody to hang out with. So